Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm of course your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video we are going to be breaking into this, the Tier 7 Polish Tech-Tree Heavy Tank, the 45 TP. This is a vehicle that I'm actually very excited to try out, because I've played the Tier 10, the Tier 9, the Tier 8, and they've all been fantastic. The Tier 8 is definitely my favorite out of the bunch, though, with its incredible turret armor, and as well pretty troll upper plate and big punchy alpha. That tank is really strong. But the Tier 7, while it may look really weird, don't let those looks fool you. This tank has some very strong frontal armor going for it, some beefy alpha, and actually for a heavy tank, very solid DPM at the tier it's currently sitting at. So, in today's video, as usual, we are going to be breaking into everything you need to know about this tank, the armor profile, how it plays, and my personal opinions on it. So, let's get straight into it. Starting off with the gun, it carries a very similar gun to the other, should I say, European nation tank, the Swedish Leo. That vehicle has 290 damage per shot, and so does this tank, and they also carry very poor standard penetration, and even the premium pen isn't amazing on this vehicle at 236, especially judging that I am running calibrated shells. So if you're up against Tier 8 heavies, vehicles like the Object 252, the 112-2, or, the Tiger 2, you're going to struggle a lot to cut through frontal armor. Thankfully, judging that this is at Tier 7, half of the time you should also be playing against Tier 6s that, yeah, you're going to cut through with most standard ammunition. Now, that 290 damage per shot is not as high as vehicles like the IS or the T29 that are sitting at 400 and 310, but what is very solid is the 2000 DPM. In fact, the DPM on this Tier 7 is more than the predecessor, which would be the Tier 8, sitting at 1808 DPM. So, it's actually not too bad there when it does come to the DPM, and pretty solid. I don't have anything to complain about it. What I do have to say that isn't amazing is the dispersion at 0.367, or the aiming time at 3.9 seconds. Those definitely limit how many shells you can actually connect because, well, the tank doesn't hit too many shots from far away, or if you're snapping any at all. That gun depression is sitting at 8 degrees, which makes it very flexible. And when we break into the mobility, well, it has a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour, which is not super fast, as we know. 15 in reverse isn't too bad, but because you're able to run gear oil, which gives you a 4 kilometer per hour boost forwards and backwards, that means that you can actually get the speed up to 39 and 19, and your power to weight ratio being 18 already, plus your average speed being 32, makes this a pretty fast tank at that. And you'll notice, as with all the other vehicles, I'm running improved fuel and as well improved gear oil. That way I can get that extra boost of engine power instead of just, getting gear oil, which doesn't, as you can see really here, add too much to the tank. So the tank itself seems pretty good, and we're going to see just how good it is in the gameplay just in a second. Now when we break into Armor Inspector here, you're going to see how the armor is. Now this is a Smasher. Obviously the Smasher's AP with 140 millimeters of pen is going to struggle to cut through the 176 millimeters of upper plate armor. And sure, you might think that that's not super strong until you use heat on this upper plate that is over 280 millimeters thick if it's using its 8 degrees of gun depression. And sure, you might think, well, just shoot it in the turret. But for most Tier 6s and 7s, that is a 250 to 40 millimeter block thick on that turret there. And it goes all the way up to 300 on the edges. I mean, this is a really strong tank. Sure, on flat ground, the upper plate is nothing amazing at 200 base, because obviously AP shells have shell normalization. But honestly, if you're using just a slight amount of gun depression, that upper plate becomes very hard to pen, especially judging that that turret is, oh my, incredibly strong as well. Even the cupola on this tank, you can see, is sitting upwards of 170 millimeters thick. So let's get into a battle and see what the tank is capable of doing. I don't really know how it's going to perform. I've played one game in it so far, and I did 3,000 damage, and it was a pretty fun game at that. The armor worked well, I was able to play up against vehicles like the Smasher, and honestly, the tank did everything I wanted it to. So we're going to see how it performs in this battle here. We are up against a couple pretty strong Tier 6s, the Tiger Kuramori Mine. No clue how to pronounce that, and you guys memed on me last time I tried, so I made sure to botch it again. We've got the Tiger 131, the Magnus, and when we go to Tier 7, we've got the SU-122, Leo, and 45 TP Habija. And as well, we got the Dicker Max. Don't forget that tank there. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. Now, as I said, the mobility on this tank, even though it looks really slow on the actual stats of 35, it's pretty quick. I mean, this is going 40 kilometers per hour easy. It is a very weird design, though, isn't it? It's a very interesting tank design. I don't know if I like it, but I don't dislike it. I just think it exists, right? It's a pretty cool tank, though. So let's see what we can do here. Let's poke the side, and, well, we got a couple tanks, and boom! Nice tap right into the side of the Tiger 131. Now we got that SU, and, ooh, he actually cut right through my track. I didn't think he was going to be able to do that, but, well, you can clearly see he did. So there's a nice shot into him, and we did actually get a bounce, which is pretty nice, if I do say so myself. I'm actually going to push my tank over here. That way we can start getting some bigger slaps into vehicles like the side of that Tiger 131. There you go, another nice tap. I mean, you can very easily see where this DPM, as I did say before, is really, really strong, and how I've been enjoying it. So let's see if we can get this Habib shot, if he's going to back up. There you go, nice tap into him for 298, and we're just going to... Oh my god, well... He was alive until the smasher ended that very, very quickly. Now we've got that Tiger 131 off to the side. We've got the Kiramori Mine. We've also got the SU 122 over here. The enemy team's got a whole lineup of vehicles all over their map. And what I'm going to do is we're going to see if we can start getting some shells into maybe the SU. Let's get a one tap in there for 288. And let's see if we can proceed to get any more shells out onto vehicles like this SU. So reload, and I hope we out-reload him here. I'm not actually sure if we do, but yes we did. Although, yeah, he did get a pretty nice snap into my lower plate. Obviously, the lower plate on this tank will be a very, very easy penetration. I'm trying to angle this vehicle out, but yeah, this guy's just cutting through me with those premium rounds. So, gotta be a little worried about that, but for the most part, not super worried. Even if he does penetrate me, we are still going to take him out really quickly here, and there you go, finishing him off. Now we do have the enemy Leo off to the side, and this actually could be the end of my tank, so let's see what we can do. Oh god, back up. Now, I actually might have more DPM, well, I definitely have more DPM than Leo now, because he is a damaged ammo rack, so that is perfect for me. There goes the Dicker Max, and this is a pretty solid game. Now, that was a perfect example to showcase that I didn't get penned in the upper plate once, but what I did get penned in was the lower plate and the side armor, and we clearly saw that the enemy smasher cut right through the side armor on that enemy, should I say 45 TP. So, the side armor is very weak, and how weak is it? Well, we're going to find out right now, because I actually have no clue. It is 96 millimeters. Wow, I'm very surprised that that smasher was actually able to pen that, but maybe he snuck the shell right in here. Actually, I wouldn't really worry too much about the side armor. I mean, if you angle it like this, that's very thick, especially if you're up against tier 6s at an angle like this. That's an auto ricochet. Even if it's not over here, it's still 170, and that upper plate at 204 is incredibly strong. But obviously, that 100 millimeter thick lower plate, I actually didn't even realize it was that weak. So clearly that SU, especially if we pull up a vehicle like that SU, we go to Russia, we go to tank destroyers in 122. I mean, that vehicle, you can clearly see shooting its premium APCR. Look at how easy it can cut through that. Wow, that's a super steep angle. So clearly we can see why I did get pens there. But either way, we did 2,600 damage. I mean, that DPM, as I said, is really strong. I don't know how the DPM compares to a T29, and actually, let's see really quick. Let's go to the American tech tree, and let's go to the T29. It's got about 1957 DPM. So, yeah, the DPM on this tank's pretty nice, judging that I think I'm actually running rammer on the T29. So, you got about 200 more on this vehicle, which is going to make it definitely more enjoyable. Now, against tier 8s, the 53 TP, the Chieftain T95, KV5, and VK45, will all pen me with standard ammo on the upper plates. Vehicles like the Cheery, SU-152, and Smasher will struggle to pen me with AP, but their premium will also butter through the vehicle. So this tank is not like the rest of tier 8, 9, or 10, where the armor is incredibly thick. The turret is, yes, very strong, which does follow suit with the line, but what doesn't is the armor of the vehicle itself. Its armor is very weak, and you'll cut through it with basically any tier 8s, but I do think that hull down, it will still hold a pretty good grudge, so we're going to find out. I'm not backing down on my claims of this thing being an incredibly strong hull down vehicle. Now, thankfully, because we do have that very good speed, I'm going to be able to make my tank off to this side over here. I don't know how the snow got onto the roof of my tank. Somebody try and explain that one to me. But, yeah, now that we're over here, we should maybe, just maybe, be able to get some nice shells out. That enemy smasher is just looking across, and I obviously don't want to deal with that, but maybe we can get a shell in. You never know. Let's aim and fire. Boom. Nice shot for 298. Oh, that's an SU-152. Let's back up. Okay, no, we're not spotted. We're fine. We are all good. Ooh, I was worried there for a second. I was really, really worried. Now, we got enemy tanks like the KV5 over here aiming. You can clearly see that the gun itself is not amazing. I mean, yeah, getting out shots is going to be nice in the vehicle. But, yeah, the DPM is nice. Don't get me wrong on that part either. It's just the fact that This tank really, really struggles itself on... What the heck is that chieftain doing? I have no clue. But it struggles on pen. That will suck a little bit. It will definitely struggle on pen. Premium, not so much, but yeah, the standard, it will struggle. There's another nice shot, though, into the KV-5. And what's funny is that I actually out-DPM this KV-5. What is not funny is the fact that we might be killed here very, very quickly by enemy tanks. Oh boy, that is not good. But, well, at least we got to tap back into the KV-5. I don't know if we're going to be able to win this. This is not good. I know that the KV-5 is very, very poor gun depression, so if we face hug him, maybe, just maybe we'll be able to get a bounce here. Come on. Yes! Haha! Okay, okay. Reload, 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 and fire! Yes! Okay, we were able to finish him off. Then we've got tanks like the Chieftain over here, and again, I'm going to face hug his vehicle, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to be able to get a bounce, but, yeah, it looks like my luck has definitely ran out here. I don't think we're going to be getting any bounces on this tank, unless, oh, wow, I was able to angle it there. Perfect. Alright, so let's try it again. This guy clearly is struggling to pen me. Let's over-angle that front plate again. Oh, come on, no! Oh, we damaged his Amarok. Yes, yes, he's got a super long reload now. We're going to be able to even get out another shell onto this Chieftain. Boom, there you go, nice shot. And, he was just able to finish me off. But, again, that very easily showcased how good the gun is. That DPM is great, and you don't need that much pen against certain tier 8s. If you know their weak spots, that wasn't too bad. As I did say, if you're up against tanks like the Tiger II, vehicles that are going to be very hard to cut through, I mean, if a Tiger II fought me there, I would probably just be done for. But thankfully, a Tiger II did not fight me. I fought tanks like the KV-5 and the Chieftain that don't have as much armor. Now, we're going to win this game, which is pretty good. I don't know what that FE301's doing. He's just, yeah, FE301, but we did over 3,000 damage this battle, and you could easily see that we fought a very good fight against tier 8 heavy tanks. The turret was easily enough armor to bounce that KV-5 shell, and same for the Chieftain there. And we were able to over-angle the hull, as you saw, so that the Chieftain actually bounced it, because he was at an angle like this, which, obviously, 254 pen, that Chieftain was not going to cut through. So, yeah, I actually think this tank is really strong, and in fact, this might be one of my favorite tanks. Sorry, I was kind of losing my mind there and trying to formulate words to speak. But yeah, I actually think this is a fantastic vehicle. There's nothing bad I can say about it. Sure, the armor might not be fantastic everywhere, but hull down, as you clearly saw, it does its job. The gun has very strong DPM. I just want to double check, am I running rammer on the T29 just to prove that theory? Let's find out. Oh, I'm actually not. Okay, so the DPM's, it's still pretty good. I'm not going to back down from that. DPM is strong for a tier 7 heavy tank. The Alpha's nice. I just really think it's an enjoyable tank to play. Let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comments down below. We got 2 tanks left on the tree. We got the 6 and the 9. Let me know which one you want to see next. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.